When you're young, you're not thinking, and everybody has made a bad choice. And because you stressed out, you go change your gender. Because you want to try something new,
oh my
once
God.
you do it, you can't go back. The more you throw stuff at kids before they develop, that's indoctrination.
You're stressed out, so you change your gender. Oh man, this whole video is gonna be annoying. This is the other thing too that's really annoying about some older conservative people when they get into this whole talking point of, I used to think just like you. Everything you're saying and everything you're challenging me on, I used to be exactly the same, and then I grew up. So just you wait. You'll eventually be like me. I hate when I hear that.
Step forward if you agree with the prompt. Cancel culture is a good thing.
Oh my God. Even the people who like really love canceling people would not say that it's a good thing. I think the actual divide is like, it's necessary to hold people accountable, opposed to we need to just let people be and stop trying to police everybody. But then again, I know people who would say both of those things, and just it's very nuanced. So yeah, cancel culture is a good thing. It's a very annoying statement. Yeah, and now I'm stressed. We are back changing gender. Oh,
we have the freedom to say
Parker.
Parker?
Wait, I'm gonna check my TikTok right now. Yeah, Parker Sedgwick, 57,000 followers. But that makes this way more interesting. That one of these teens is a leftist content creator at that.
Say what you want, but everyone else has the freedom to respond and cancel you if you say something that is racist, homophobic, transphobic, etc. Cancel culture is definitely good in the means of like deplatforming people who are spreading very hateful messages.
What is your opinion on Trump being cancelled on Twitter?
Canceled? Okay, so what do we mean? What do we mean by canceled if you're gonna say a sentence like that? Twitter deleted Trump, so he was canceled. Oh my God. We don't need to go into this right now. It's just like the way this is being framed is just so annoying. Especially because, okay, yeah, I will say this. I think a big reason why a lot of people dislike cancel culture is specifically when they'll see someone, like an entertainer, for example, say something, people don't like it, and then they get a lot of backlash, and then their sponsors take away their sponsorships. In a situation like that, I've seen a lot of people say the problem is all these people online who canceled them. I think the problem actually there is the source of income being these corporations that give sponsorship to these entertainers or content creators, and then when they suddenly do not look profitable, then they suddenly pull out, and that content creator or entertainer now is struggling to make back that income. The problem there is the way that these corporations are holding content creators with their sponsorships. And also cancel culture was done by black women holding people accountable and calling out abusers. Yeah, that too. It's like that's why I keep saying that phrase, like holding people accountable, because that's what it originates from. Yeah, it's complicated. In other words, it's very complicated.
When you go onto Twitter or whatever, you
think
check
it's fine.
I accept the
go.
guidelines, the community guidelines. I agree to follow them, and he didn't follow them, so Twitter has the right to take him off the app.
You brought up canceling him off Twitter. I'm sorry, I disagree. When the Taliban can use our social media, but an ex-president can't, there is something wrong with that.
Did the Taliban violate community guidelines?
It doesn't matter.
I mean, I think it matters to Twitter what their community guidelines are. That's why they banned Trump, because Trump violated community guidelines. That's what every platform has, whether it be TikTok, YouTube, Instagram.
The Taliban stones people because they're gay.
If they've done that and they've posted videos of stoning gay people, I agree, they should be removed, and that 100%. Is fundamentally wrong.
Except the problem is they're smart enough to not do that.
Well,
then why wasn't Trump smart enough to
the president wasn't
that?
smart enough to not do that, I guess.
If I'm an American and I have to vote between this person and this person, I need equal access to both of them to decide what's right. Bro, you could be a Klansman, you could say you hate black people. That's not my job to police your language. I can't expect everybody to love me and think the way I think. All y'all think different. I mean, that's totally dope. But the fact that you want somebody removed because they think differently, that could be you one day.
America is becoming less and less safe.
Oof. I hate the. Once again, I wanted to be like, what do you mean? This could also easily be like a dog whistle. It'd be like, yeah, all these black people being more and more aggressive and all these protests and riots, like that usually is paired with people talking about how unsafe America is. But then also plenty of people will talk about how unsafe America is because of the rise in white supremacist groups and them gaining more confidence and being legitimized by Trump and all that stuff. Also, haven't the number of trans people murdered every year gone up every year? Like, there's a lot of reasons America is unsafe, but it's always like a different reason. So it's like, yes, America is getting more and more unsafe for marginalized people. For conservatives, no, not at all. It's not getting more and more unsafe for conservatives, and that's another talking point we'll see too. It's like the way that Jews were discriminated against. This is how the Holocaust started. They're now letting conservatives have Twitters. Yeah.
I'll leave this to you guys.
So I have a lot of friends that have been in the military for the last 20 years because they refused to get vaccinated. They told me that they would be dishonorably discharged or kicked out of the military. I just believe we're losing a lot of good servicemen with the current situation that we're in right now.
Police
Unsafe.
officers are down. Crime is up all over. When police aren't there, we're murdering each other at a really high rate. Police are in those neighborhoods because the homicide rate is high. Y'all can run around talking about police all you want, but I challenge any of these liberal kids.
Yeah, but none of this talk about the police has resulted in less policing. I hate that. I hate it. It's like, I think there's some conservatives that really think that with talk of like defunding the police and a bit of abolishing the police, they think that has actually had an effect. Not really. I have seen some articles about some cities in the United States that have, lowered the police budget a bit and given it to other social programs in the community, but less policing hasn't happened yet. Policeman forever. But this guy's narrative is all this talk about defunding the police, and then police are now part-time. Now all police are part-time because of all this talk of defunding the police. I mean, conservatives really think that Black Lives Matter protesters have won way more than they actually have. This is still a very conservative country. You're just watching too much Fox News and conservative pundits.
Y'all can run around talking about police all you want, but I challenge any of these liberal kids to spend 2 weeks in the environment I grew up in, and I promise your perspective will change.
The one advantage we have about being older,
I challenge anybody to see the world the way that I saw it when I was an ignorant child.
been through a threat or two. And our enemies, like China, the Communist Party of China, they're laughing at us. Russia's like, we don't need to do much. They're gonna screw it up on their own. We need to get the help of our younger people that haven't been through a threat before to realize a lot of what's going on is not good. My name is Mike, I'm 59 years old, and I'm a conservative parent. Growing up during the 1980s, that was a huge influence on me, and it formed my views, and the people that I was around is the reason why I'm a conservative parent. I think America...
I grew up in the 80s, and it had a huge impact on me, the people I was around in the 1980s. And that's why I'm a conservative. What does that mean?
America should be more middle.
The height of anti-communism, yeah. Yes, the 80s, the time of the AIDS epidemic, yeah.
Because we're going to watch our freedoms get extinguished or encroached if we don't guard those freedoms.
Like how neoliberalism has absolutely defeated, which neoliberalism, don't get confused by the word liberal in there, is absolutely the conservatism that he subscribes to, being a conservative today. Neoliberalism has totally stolen so many of our freedoms. Deregulation and crushing of unions and workers' rights has slaughtered our freedoms. Oh my God, I wish more conservatives understood that. Also the 80s, like Reagan, your guy. This guy's probably a huge Reagan fan. Totally. It's not a freedom guy. It only works. I mean, freedom for corporations. That's what it is. It's free enterprise. Let these businessmen who built America have full freedom, and then it'll all trickle down to the rest of us.
And make sure that all of our children have a chance to succeed.
Can they disagree?
Oh yeah. If we instill all the policies you want, oh yeah, you're just going to continue screwing over your children, just like today's children are absolutely screwed. I'm sure hardly any of Generation Z will be able to buy a house. Buy a house? What? That sounds so impossible for the younger generations right now.
Disagree a step forward?
I actually wished I came up here for the agreeing section because I think I interpreted the definition of safety the same way that you guys did, but after hearing your guys' conversation, I started thinking about how our American people aren't safe in the face of like imminent like climate disasters that are coming our way, and how we don't have the infrastructure to deal with that.
I actually very much agree with that, because I think we need to define like kind of like what we mean by like we're less safe now. Do we mean like there's more homicides after COVID, or like what do we mean?
I would say before we got rid of half our military, half our police.
Oh yeah, I forgot. The pandemic has definitely made it less safe. With all hundreds of thousands of people dying from a virus, is definitely way less safe.
Of course, you know, slavery was legal. The Holocaust was legal. So we can look at all of these mass atrocities and say we're doing what's right. Everybody who was a part of the Holocaust government, they were doing what Hitler said. They were doing what was right. So everybody losing their job for not getting vaxxed, and all the vax people, you got who can we control? Everybody who get the shot, that's who's gonna do what we say. The enemies are coming, and we don't care about that because we wanna care about what color we should wear and pride and critical race theory. It's like no one else cares about that but us in America. That's our problem.
So you think that talking about sexual orientation and all that kind of stuff takes away from the safety of our country?
Who you sleep with has no merit in the real world. What does it matter?
Okay, let's just broaden the scope. With the coronavirus pandemic, why did it take weeks for us as a country to mobilize together to fight the public health crisis that was already affecting the nation?
It was a scam to get Donald Trump out of office. It's all fake. It's my opinion.
I agree with you.
I don't think
it's all fake to get Trump out of office. Then it would have gone away when Biden became president, which is something that multiple conservative pundits said. It. The only one I could remember is Candace Owens. I'm like, oh yeah, this is all gonna go away if Biden becomes president. Nobody's gonna talk about it. Oh my God.
My news source is more reliable than the other side's.
News source.
When I look at conservative news, I see a lot of conspiracies that I don't necessarily agree with. And so if everything comes from opinion and just people developing their own ideas, it just doesn't seem reliable to me.
I feel like the only way we can get unbiased news is in order for news media organizations to stop prioritizing having really vivid headlines that might not necessarily be 100% accurate.
I think that starts with putting people over profit. They want the biggest story or whatever, and they don't want to actually give the news that would be beneficial to our everyday average Americans. And I think that if we put a lot more focus on putting people first instead of the big news or the big story, we can change that aspect of society.
I agree with you 100%. Like I say the civil rights movement is the civil rights entertainment industry because it's so profitable. Put a police shooting on TV, it's breaking news, every headline, it's on every social media, you're selling shirts, you're selling signs. That's so much more profitable than showing me and you shaking hands.
What's annoying is the like half truth in this is yes, these news media companies will use Black Lives Matter protests and sensationalize them and focus on the chaotic parts of them in order to get clicks, sell ads. And people organize each of those protests for legitimate reasons. But a lot of conservatives like this guy will say that first part and say, therefore, the Black Lives Matter protests aren't legit because the media uses them to sensationalize and make a profit, which is such an annoying leap that I've seen a lot.
The news media is literally capitalizing off the emotions of society. No matter how you feel about it, handle it in your privacy of your house. Why? Because if you can do it on camera, somebody's gonna make $1 off of it, and that's not fair to you.
That doesn't delegitimize the actual events that these news companies are sensationalizing and making money off of.
Young people today are too sensitive.
Oof. This is another thing I want to make a video about: sensitiveness as a gift, which is like to be able to be sensitive to the things going on and the people around you is a gift and something that you could get better at. But it's like, that's not how the word sensitive is often used. Usually it's just like synonymous with like easily offended. That's what people use, which is also annoying because that whole shtick is used to dismiss people who are trying to hold people accountable, and then it just gets dismissed. They're like, oh, everybody's overly offended, and it's like, no, you just need to listen. A lot of people just need to listen instead of assuming people are just way too damn sensitive these days, can't say anything. Oh my god, that reminds me of this TikTok that I saw. Oh yeah, feelings, wow, let me continue stepping on your nuts. Exactly. Damon will call you out on TikTok. True, yeah, I have a TikTok. Follow me, Damon_Garcia. But I was reminded of this video on the whole sensitive conversation.
This is how different generations react when you wish them a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Oh, Merry Christmas to you too. Thank you. You never hear it these days, do you? Can't say Merry Christmas these days. Everyone else just bites your head off, don't they? God, you can't say anything these days, but it's so nice to finally have a win for the little guy. Merry Christmas to you too. I'll remember this. Thank you so much. This is how different generations react when you wish them a Merry Christmas.
So good. This TikToker also has one for Happy Holidays. I need to see this.
This is how different generations react when you wish them Happy Holidays. Happy Holidays? In this house, we say Merry Christmas. Well, in this Kmart, we say Merry Christmas. Oh, yes. Happy Holidays. It could be any of them. It could be any of them. No, I know. It's fine. I know what you're doing. It's fine. Happy Holidays. Merry Holidays. Nearly got you there. Happy Holidays. You must be one of the good ones. This is how different generations react with.
Damn, the sadness. What I think is annoying too is this whole discourse about which one should we say, in reality, is very retail customer service centric. That's what it really is about. It's, should your cashier say happy holidays? It's a boss is saying, yo, you need to put on some more emotional labor during December on top of the emotional labor you already put on. Add to that and say Merry Christmas, and then eventually it was like, no, you need to say Happy Holidays now. You need to really make every customer feel safe and valued by telling them Happy Holidays. And it's like, that's the real situation where anyone is even saying you need to say this or you can't say that. But then you have all these like boomer conservatives who are like, will go to Walmart or Starbucks and hear Happy Holidays because their boss said that they have to say that. And then they make this huge leap and say, you can't say Merry Christmas nowadays. No, their boss just told them to say Happy Holidays to the customers. That's what's actually happening, not some authoritarian free speech ruler is saying you can't say this, you can't say Merry Christmas anymore. No, it's just that bosses said you should probably not put up the Merry Christmas signs this time. We're still going to sell all the Christmas stuff, of course. We're still going to have Santa advertised everywhere and have nativity sets everywhere. Yeah, of course. But when you're checking out, we'll just say Happy Holidays. It's that's where the authoritarian ruler there, the boss of the workplace, who is has power over the cashier who told you happy holidays, not over you buying something at the cash register. It was just all manufactured from the beginning. All this. You can't say Merry Christmas nowadays. Nah. All right, let's go.
The growing up was the Berlin crisis, the Cuban Missile Crisis. I mean, we had the threat of annihilation, staring at us several times. And a lot of times I go, thank God John Kennedy handled it.
The country has been spoiled for so long. They're trying to make it so a man can't be a man. And if you don't let men be men, then...
I hate it. They're trying to make it. It's the same thing. Oh, the cashier said happy holidays. So that means they're trying to make me say happy holidays. It's the same thing. Oh, someone is transgender. That means they're trying to make me transgender. It's such annoying logic. You must all be femboys. Men, they're trying to make it so that men can't be men. How do these people exist? He's talking to people whose earliest memory is 9/11 and the terror and outrage that followed, by the way. Exactly. Thank God we have no imminent crisis that won't just wipe out 90% of the population. We truly live in blessed times. I mean, yeah, I feel like the only reason that other dude brought that up, the Cuban Missile Crisis, is because he was trying to say, back in my day, we had real issues to be scared about. And these days, these kids don't.
And if you don't let men be men, then things start crumbling. Society crumbles, families crumble.
Oh, this is just like the that meme that Joe Rogan posted. What was that? This is like the combination of two memes. But look at this. It's that political compass chart. Authoritarian left, authoritarian right, libertarian left. It's like hard times create strong men, which creates good times, which creates weak men, which creates hard times, and so forth. Which is a phrase that existed before it was put on a political compass meme like this. But then they put it on this, and so it's implying that strong men are like authoritarian right men. You got the white nationalists up here, the fascists, which creates good times, which is like right-wing libertarianism. And then weak men, which are like these anarchists, these libs. And then hard times is communism. This is just absolute nonsense. But it's also a fucked up thing to believe that strong men create good times, and good times create weak men create hard times. Yeah. So why these strong men get so mad when people say happy holidays?
And broken homes start happening.
And kids need their fathers. So 36% of kids don't have a father. So every boy is, well, my mom is mad at me, my dad don't love me, my dad don't care about me. Maybe I should be gay, maybe I should be trans, I don't know who I am. And your father puts confidence in you. No disrespect to anybody, but the younger generation of men are soft. And if we had to go to war, they're not protecting America. There's no better place to be as a black individual or whatever you are in America. Go to the Middle East right now and say you gay or you trans and see how they treat you.
It's the logic is just all over the place.
That's a huge thing with the trans and the gay and the LGBTQ and all that whole thing. So I grew up LDS, being Utah County, it's like 95% Mormon. At 8 years old is when you get baptized. And so if you're raised around where 95% of people think the exact same way, I feel like that's too young of an age where you're a child and you don't really know what you're doing. And so where I have a problem with the trans or these different things is they're getting kids at like 10, 12 years old, and they're pushing them down that path.
Who's they?
Who's they?
Mm-hmm. Who's indoctrinating these kids into becoming LGBTQ and et cetera?
There's a lot of groups out there.
Like?
I've just heard that there's groups out there. You don't think there's groups out there that do that?
No.
I'm Samir, straight man, so I think it's...
The older you get, the more conservative you become.
Oh! The older you get, the more conservative you become. Okay, so I will say this. I think it's possible for certain people to become more conservative as they become richer. And at a certain point, a few decades back, or maybe quite a few decades back, as you would get older and go to college, get a job, buy a house, maybe buy another house. It's like, yeah. And as you become more rich, then you may start to support policies that protect the rich. It just happened to also coincide with you getting older. That's probably why people started saying the older you get, the more conservative you become, but it's not because of age, or it's not because of experience either. But these days, a lot of these young people will remain struggling their whole life. And so that's why this isn't happening anymore. Let's see.
When I got older and I had kids and I had a family, I actually started reading policies. Everything about me changed when I became a father, because I had a reason to. And I'm sure you would agree with that.
Yeah. As I've gotten older and the environment we're in right now, I feel like they're trying to cancel the Constitution. They're trying to cancel Christianity.
No, dude. Nobody. They. Trying to make everybody gay. They're saying men can't be men. They're trying to cancel the Constitution. They're trying to cancel Christianity. This guy has no idea what's happening in the world.
I mean, most teenagers are liberal. I was liberal when I was teen. It's fun. Culture is liberal. So when you're younger, you're going to be a part of culture.
Right.
When you're older, you're trying to raise your family. You don't have a time to care about what LeBron James said or who did that. Just when you mature, you value what's around you.
My name's Sean. I'm 36 years old, and I'm a...
When the Mormon has his moment of just talking to the camera by himself, they put on this heavenly music.
My name's Sean.
I don't think that was me playing before.
I'm 36 years old, and I'm a conservative parent.
Building off of what you're saying about like teenagers, we're a different generation, and so we view the world differently, and I think that's probably why you've seen more teenagers be liberal, because we just view the world that way, but I don't think it has anything to do with
No, my generation, I was liberal too when I was a teenager, and all my friends were too. And when you're a teenager, life is fun. It's just totally, you kick it, you party. So that's what I'm saying. I get the teenage. As you grow, you either can run away from responsibility or embrace responsibility. When there's real things going on, you start looking at life a little different.
No. I think probably more honest statement is that when you're young, you're more vaguely libertarian. Like, less government control is probably a good thing, and we shouldn't try to force people to do things. I think that is a more honest statement of among young people who are still learning and haven't really looked into various political ideologies and different perspectives and issues of injustice. There's a kind of vague libertarianism, let people do what they want. But to say that they're like committed left-wingers is like, no, that's not. I don't think that's ever really been a thing.
America is the best country in the world.
Whoa.
I think despite all of our challenges and problems, when you look at all the other countries of the world, everybody is still trying to come here.
The way I can talk out loud, the way I can feel myself, the way I can express myself fully as an individual, it ain't many places black men can go do that outside.
Wait, so contradictory to their whole narrative of you can't say anything these days. They're canceling everybody. They even took Trump off Twitter. Free speech is going away. And then mixed with like, this is the greatest country in the world because I'm able to say whatever I want.
Yeah. And I think it will continue because of a lot of good people that stand up for the right things.
Yeah, we need more people to stand up for the right things, such as workers' rights, instead of standing up for billionaires and deregulation and free enterprise, thinking that their wealth will trickle down to us.
I think I would like to ask the question, what is America the best at?
I think we just was talking about the freedoms that we have here versus what they don't have in other countries.
So what about places in Scandinavia that actually have higher amounts of freedom?
Yeah, just pointing to Scandinavia is usually just the easiest thing to do when people talk about America being the best country. But yeah, Scandinavian countries definitely aren't perfect. The Nordic model, social democracy.
I mean, I would say like, I think diversity is good. I think diversity of thought and diversity of opinion is super helpful. It's really easy to get clogged up into this groupthink. So I don't expect anyone else to agree with me or feel the way I feel. I just expect you to respect my right to feel this way. I respect your right to feel this way, and we keep it moving.
100% agree. I couldn't agree more, actually.
Awesome, that's a wrap. Thank you so much.
Bruh. They did a rich versus poor as the economy rigged. Oh my god, I can't do another video like this.